Are exchanged from one currency to another. The Forex market is the world's largest financial market, and it plays a vital role in the global economy. Every day, trillions of dollars are exchanged from one currency to another. This kind of currency exchange is essential for international business. Forex market participants include governments, businesses, and of course, investors. Governments use the Forex market to implement policies. For example, when conducting business with another country, whether it's borrowing money, lending money, or offering aid, a country needs to convert its currency into a foreign currency. Businesses use the Forex market to facilitate international trade. For example, they may need to convert payments for goods and services bought overseas, or to exchange payments from international customers into their preferred currency. And investors use the Forex market to speculate on changes in currency prices. Currency prices change almost constantly during the week because the Forex market is open continuously from Sunday at 4 p.m. until Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. A trading day starts at 4 p.m. and ends at 4 p.m. Central Time the following day. The market has to be open around the clock because of the global nature of the economy. Let's go over some basics of how trading Forex works. When you trade Forex, you're not just trading one product. You're trading two currencies against each other. This is known as a currency pair. The quote for a Forex currency pair defines the value of one currency relative to the other. The easiest way to understand any quote is to read the pair from left to right. Let's look at an example using the euro versus the US dollar currency pair. If the EUR-USD is trading at 1.20, that means 1 euro is equal to $1.20 US dollars. Here's another example using the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar currency pair. If the USD-CAD is trading at 1.25, that means 1 US dollar is equal to $1.25 Canadian dollars. Even though there are two currencies involved, the pair itself acts like a single entity, similar to a stock or commodity. And just like when trading stock, investors profit when they buy a currency pair, and its price increases. Investors can also profit if they sell or short a currency pair, and the price decreases. Let's look at an example. Suppose an investor thinks Europe's economy is going to grow faster than the United States, and as a result, she thinks the euro will strengthen against the US dollar. She can buy the euro versus US dollar pair to speculate on her assumption. If the price of the currency pair rises, she'll make money. Conversely, if the price falls, she'll experience a loss. Now that we've covered the basics, let's look at a few key aspects of the Forex market. We'll start with margin. When you trade on margin, you only need to put up a percentage of the total investment to enter into a position. This amount is known as the margin requirement. When you trade other securities like stocks, trading on margin means you're borrowing funds from your broker. However, Forex trades can only be covered using funds in the investor's Forex account. Investors can't borrow funds to enter a Forex trade. If they don't have funds in their Forex account, they need to transfer funds before placing a trade. Forex margin requirements vary depending on the currency pairs and the size of a trade. Currency pairs typically trade in specific quantities, known as lots. The most common lot sizes are standard and mini. Standard lots represent 100,000 units, and mini lots represent 10,000 units. Depending on your brokerage firm, you may also be able to trade Forex in 1,000 unit increments, also known as micro lots. Margin requirements can be as small as 2% of a trade or as large as 20%. But the margin requirement for most currency pairs averages around 3 to 5%. To understand how margin is calculated, let's look at an example using the euro versus US dollar pair. Say this pair was trading at 1.20 and an investor wanted to buy a standard lot for 100,000 units. The total cost of the trade would be $120,000. That's a lot of capital. However, the investor doesn't have to pay that full amount. Instead, she pays the margin requirement. Let's say the margin requirement was 3%. 3% of $120,000 is $3,600. That's the amount the investor needs in her Forex account to place this trade. This brings us to another key element of the Forex market, leverage. Leverage enables investors to control a large investment with a relatively small amount of money. In this example, the investor is able to control $120,000 with $3,600. The leverage associated with currency pairs is one of the biggest benefits of the Forex market, but it's also one of the biggest risks. Leverage gives investors the potential to make large profits or large losses. One more important element in the Forex market is financing. This is the calculation of net interest owed or earned on currency pairs, and it happens when an investor holds a position past the close of the trading day. The US dollar is associated with an overnight lending rate set by the Fed, and this rate defines the cost of borrowing money. Similarly, each foreign currency has its own overnight lending rate. Remember, when you trade a currency pair, you're trading two currencies against each other. Even though the currency pair acts like a single entity, you're technically long one currency and short the other. In terms of financing, you're lending the currency that you're long and borrowing the currency you're short. This lending and borrowing occurs at the overnight lending rate of each respective currency. In general, an investor receives a credit if the currency he is long has a higher interest rate than the currency he is short. Conversely, an investor is debited if the currency he is long has a lower interest rate than the currency he is short. Let's look at an example. Suppose an investor has a position in the Australian dollar versus the US dollar currency pair. Say the overnight lending rate for the Australian dollar is 2%, and the overnight lending rate for the US dollar is 1%. The investor is long the currency pair, which means he is long the AUD and short the USD. Since the AUD has a higher interest rate than the USD, the investor will receive a credit. However, if the investor was short the AUD-USD currency pair, he'd have to pay the debit because he's short the currency that has a higher interest rate. Financing is performed automatically by your brokerage firm. However, it's important to understand how it works and its financial impact on the trade. We've reviewed just a few elements of the Forex market. As with all investment opportunities, the Forex market has a unique set of risks and benefits, and education is the first step to determine if this is the right opportunity for you.
All right. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome all. All right. Just hold on for a second. All right, let me see. All right. Boom. Where are we? I think we are in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, right? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to day 2 of our free Forex basics class, right? I just want to take this wonderful opportunity to welcome each and everybody who is actually joining us for the first time ever. Welcome. All right. So do we have those people who are actually joining us in day 2 for the first time? If you are actually joining for the first time, please type in the chat with me. All right. With the word me. If you're actually joining for the first time, ladies and gentlemen, please type in the chat with the word me. All right. I don't want you to feel shy. Our business will always take out all the shyness away from you. And that's why you need to be bold from the word go. All right. You need to be bold from the word go. Is there anybody else who's joining for the first time? We studied yesterday. All right, all right, all right. Maybe some guys are like, oh, I don't want him to find out that I'm the person who is actually joining today. Let me pretend as if I was part of the team from yesterday, so that at least I don't have to maybe create some attention. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you. Do you know, at the end of the day, right? If I only have one person, right, who is actually joining us for the first time, it can actually even make me to go through what we discussed yesterday to actually help you know what we covered, all right? But if it means we don't have new people who are actually joining for us today, it means what we're gonna do is just to continue from where we left, all right? Maybe now, the next thing will be like, if you want to ask the question, all right, and then I start telling you that was covered yesterday, and then you'll be like, but I was not there yesterday, and then I'll be like, that was my key phrase, that was my key starting point, ladies and gentlemen. So do you know, sometimes there's some things which you can do which at the end of the day can be used against you. All right, all right. Now look at them. All right, look at them, look at them, look at them, look at them. All right. Personally, being in the business actually taught me not to be fearful, right? Because I know this is more of a learning business, right? So you don't need to be afraid, because at the end of the day, all of us, we are always students, right? All of us, we are always students, and we are always in student mode. With that being said and done, my name is Wycliffe Sewe, aka Captain Cliff, all right? And I'll be the person taking you guys through this session once again for the second time, all right? Now, before I jump to our today's topic, it's good to mention a few key things in form of announcements, so that for those people who might have forgotten that which I had announced yesterday, all right, you can actually have the second chance of listening for the second time and noting it down. That's the beauty of business, right? The educators can give you the second chance, but the market rarely gives second chances, right? Good. Now, so I mentioned yesterday, all right? I mentioned yesterday, just hold on for a second, all right? Just hold on for a second. Boom, all right. At least I'm now more or less feeling fine. From last week, I think over the weekend, I've actually been under the weather, and I've been having, how do you call it? Cold, right? Fever or cold, all right? I've been having a little bit of some cold, but all right, I really thank God, because right now I'm actually now feeling a lot much better than Monday. All right. You can, for those people who had attended the Monday class, you could clearly tell I was actually being affected by cold a lot. But I really thank God because I've been having improvement, right? And that's why I can even now project my sound even from the top of the roof. All right, with that being said and done, remember this free Forex basics training, all right? This is the second day, and I told you guys we shall be running it up to Friday. So which means we have got today, tomorrow being on a Thursday, and then on a Friday. And I told you, ladies and gentlemen, for the 4 days, right? I don't know how much prepared you are, but personally, I know you will have gotten something and have known, right? At least what Forex basics or what Forex trading is all about. Because I told you guys, and I keep on telling you, in our business, direction is important more than speed, right? So you actually need to understand which type of a business am I involving myself into? And what is the general outlook? What is the future holding for me if I'm gonna participate in this business? All I can say, the future only looks bright for those people who will take a step further to dig more deeper about Forex training. Are you get the point? Now, with that being said and done, tomorrow being on a Thursday, we shall be having the London Loot exclusive, and this will be hosted by none other than, all right, our educators whom I know majority of you guys have interacted with them before. We have got Jamal, we have got Patricia, who is the U30 queen, and then we have got Ruth, who actually does or have mastered the area of synthetic indices. All right. Today we actually had a very fantastic London session. All right. We had a guest analyst, and ladies and gentlemen, guys really made money. All right. And that actually tells you when 2 or 3 minds, all right, it actually tells you when 2 or 3 minds decide to do something. And for those people who are present in the London session, all right, especially for that USD CHF trade, you guys, you saw how many confirmations we were actually looking at before entering that trade. And we realized USD CHF was actually, I think we more or less went over like, were they 4 confirmations? All right, 4 confirmations. We went through over 4 confirmations before taking that trade. And ladies and gentlemen, you could actually see, for those people who are present, how we were actually looking at, analyzing, thinking about it, reasoning from it, and then boom, we said we are going on this pair. A few hours later, ladies and gentlemen, for those people who took the trade, you could clearly tell by what happened after that. There was a massive success on that particular trade. All right. So I want to thank you so much for those people tuned in during the London session, but we still have more for you. It's not yet over until it's done. All right. So tomorrow, please make sure that you tune into the London session. And remember, this will be exclusively only for active Fortune 360 members. And that's why I keep on telling you, maybe for those people who are asking, all right, Captain, then how do I become part and parcel of Fortune 360? All right. If you have been referred here by maybe a friend who is already an active Fortune 360 member, kindly let them take you through the entire process of how to become a member. All right. Once you acquire your membership, you get automatic access to this live trading session. And for our members who have not yet sent me their screenshots for their back office, ladies and gentlemen, please do so that you don't end up telling me, oh, Captain, I was locked out. And I'll be like, did you manage to send me your screenshot? And then you'll be like, oh, I forgot. And then I'll be like, okay, I'm so sorry for your loss. I get the point. I'm actually so sorry for your loss. All right. Now, with that being said and done, another major event loading, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Starting in August, September, October, we shall be running a 3-month bootcamp, mainly focusing on account growth. Yesterday, when we were actually going through the Forex basics and we saw what banks really do and what if we have the skills we can actually do in terms of account growth, then we realized if we position ourselves correctly, then we can actually do much more. So the main aim of the bootcamp, ladies and gentlemen, I keep on telling you, this will actually teach us what discipline and patience is all about in our business, all right? And we will actually be able to see what are some of the rewards of whenever you're disciplined, whenever you're committed, whenever you're passionate, whenever you're focused, whenever you are in for it, right? At the end of the day, money usually becomes the reward in our business, as long as you play by the rules. So with the 3 months, basically, it will be more of trying as much as we can to play by the rules of the game, trying as much as we can to abide by the rules of the game. And then we see what exactly shall be the result. Personally, I'm truly believing that by the time it's done, most of us will have experienced maybe what they have never even experienced in their lives, right? I think we had agreed for those people who will be participating in the August, September, October bootcamp, I'd actually informed you guys, all you need to do is just load your account $1,000, right? And I've been explaining why you need the $1,000 simply because of handling multiple trades, right? We normally take sometimes multiple trades. Of course, this week was more or less like a slow week. The market kind of like have been a little bit so slow, but that does not mean that we have been missing out on some of the excellent setups, right? Despite the slow week, we have actually been managing, right? We've actually been managing. And so with the $1,000, we'll actually give you an opportunity so that even if we have entered into 3-4 trades simultaneously or more or less the same time, it gives you an opportunity to enter more trades at the same time, right? As compared when we are operating with a small account, right? So with $1,000 and above, we'll actually be giving you a wonderful edge and setting you apart from the rest. So try as much as you can, all right? So with that being said and done, if you can hear me loud and clear, and if you have heard whatever I've gone through, please type in the chat with where exactly you are tuning in from. If you have heard me loud and clear, ladies and gentlemen, and if my announcements are so clear to you, please type in the chat with exactly where you are tuning in from. All right, so we have got Eric Unyango all the way from Nairobi. We have got Track Official, Abu Dhabi. Wow. When was the last time I was actually watching documentaries from Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi is based in Dubai or what? Abu Dhabi is in Asia, right? I guess so. So we have got AC all the way from Mombasa, Crystal Brooks, Jamaica. Aha. Hey. Wow. Jamaica all the way, Usain Bolt's land. Then we have got Craig Williams all the way from Dayton, OH. OH simply stands for Ohio. I don't know. All right, OH. Then we've got Mirigo all the way from Dallas, all right? Georgina all the way from Nairobi. Jen Jepkorir all the way from Nairobi. Then we've got Esther Kimani all the way from Nairobi, Kenya. Then who else is exactly tuning in? Please let me know where you're exactly tuning in. All right, all right, all right. I think with that being said and done, allow me now to jump into our blackboard. All right, I believe you have got your pen and the notebooks. So allow me to jump into our blackboard. All right, allow me to jump into a blackboard. All right, this is my blackboard. I believe you guys, you can be able to see my screen. The same way you normally have got your blackboards. If you went through the schooling system, is the same way I've created I've created, let me just clear some of the writings which I had before then, remove all this so that you have a clear blackboard, right? So the main reason why our blackboard is black, right? I know nowadays with technology, we even have white blackboards, but I'm actually trying to make sure that you have got that classroom touch, all right? You've got that classroom touch. So you've got the blackboard. We can turn it to white if you want it to, but as long as you can be able to read loud and clear, whatever I'm going to take you guys through. So ladies and gentlemen, all right. So yesterday we covered quite a good number of things, and we started and said what Forex is all about, ladies and gentlemen. And basically we just said this is where Forex trading basically just involves the exchange of foreign currency, period. All right. And then we went ahead and discussed what basically is usually traded into the Forex market. And then we said what is actually traded or transacted in the Forex market is purely money. All right. And then we said our business doesn't involve you guys coming here and picking drugs. You don't expect me to come and tell you guys, okay, good, this we have done our training, and then I'll be like instructing each and everybody. Okay, I want you to take product X and X so that you can take it to country so and so. Or I want you to pick this product and take it to that client. Absolutely no. Simply because we are purely in the business of money. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know when you're in the business of money, money just passes through your hands? Ladies and gentlemen, maybe for some people, it has not yet even sunk on them. But personally, when 3 years back, when I knew I'm going to be in the business of money, all right? Because this is what most of the people usually pray for, all right? God to open doors for financial breakthroughs. Do you know that's usually a common prayer to most of us, right? Please, God, may you open for us financial breakthroughs, financial doors, all right? And now God hears your prayer, and God takes you and then places you where money gets transacted. Ladies and gentlemen, never joke with God. He listens and hears prayers, and he does what exactly you've actually asked. And this is where he has actually put you in right now. So for the new people, your financial doors or financial breakthroughs prayer has actually been answered. So God has actually taken you and have put you in a business where money actually gets transacted. So it's upon you at the end of the day now, all right? It depends with whatever action you're going to take once we are done through, whenever we'll be done with this Forex basics teaser classes. So it will depend with whatever action we want to take after that. Maybe majority, some will start again complaining 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the line. Oh God, oh please open another door, blah, blah, blah. But you'll be reminded. You'll be reminded. You are in a business where money gets transacted and you fail to take action. So whom are you going to blame? Whom are you going to blame? This is sometimes as human beings, God will actually expose you guys to good and greater things. And then one thing which usually stands out, and the power which, of course, we were given as human beings, is the freedom to choose. All right? God will never choose for you. He will actually give you the freedom to choose. Now it's upon you to decide. All right? Now you are here, you have arrived. So it's upon you to decide once we'll be done with this 4 days exclusive Forex basics training. And then another thing that, ladies and gentlemen, talked about was the history of Forex trading. All right. And then we actually also looked at, all right, the major participants of Forex in this business. And we said the major participants in our business, they are the banks, the huge financial institutions, right? Financial institutions. And we saw they're the guys who actually do this business on a large scale. And I told you guys from the word go, the volume of transactions which usually get the amount of transactions in terms of volume, money which gets transacted on a daily basis, ladies and gentlemen, it's over 6 trillion US dollars. All right, over 6 trillion US dollars. The other day, I was like, I found out for us as small scale traders who are also known as retail traders, we are only accounting, right? We are only accounting to maybe around 200 billion to 300 billion US dollars. That's the amount of traded volumes that comes from retail traders, between 200 billion to 300 billion. So the remaining, right? For us as retail trader, we don't even account for 1 trillion. For those people who didn't know that, it's good now you can understand, all right? The amount, the average amount which is transacted by us as retail traders amounts to 200 to 300 billion on average per day. So we don't even move 1 trillion in the Forex market. So where is the remaining? Okay, let's work with 500 billion US dollars, right? Let's work with 500 billion US dollars. So 500 billion, 1 trillion has got how many zeros? 1 trillion has got how many zeros? 1 trillion. Mathematicians in the house. 1 trillion has got how many zeros? I know a dollar has got, billion has got 9 zeros. 1 trillion has got how many zeros? Is it 12 for what? Let me see. How many people have ever encountered somebody saying they cannot hear me? How can I get the sound from Kenya? Sound, please. What do you mean? Guys, are you able to hear me? If you can hear me, guys, kindly type in the chats with a yes. So that if you can hear me, ladies and gentlemen, kindly type in the chats with a yes. Somebody's talking about sound. Yes, they can hear me. All right. So AC, please try as much as you can to work on your sounding system. AC, try to work on your sounding system. Majority can hear me. If all can hear me but you, then it means the problem comes from your trading gadget. All right. Now, where were we? All right. So I said, let's say, for example, as retail traders, we are moving 500 billion US dollars on average. Then it means we have got a balance of like, 1 trillion has got how many zeros, right? But we have got a balance of even like over 5 point something trillion, right? Over 5 point something trillion, which gets transacted by the remaining other participants. And whom we saw, we have got the banks, whom we saw, we have got the companies, whom we saw, we have got the central, I keep on muting AC and AC keeps on unmuting herself. AC, I think if you don't want to behave, then I'll have no choice, but you'll have to be kicked out, all right? So kindly try as much as you can to behave. All right, now, so we said the major participants, we realized we have got the banks, we realized we have got the central banks of in each and every country, all right? Then we realized we have got the international companies. Most of the companies usually participate in this industry, left, right, and center. That basically confirms how genuine Forex trading is, ladies and gentlemen. It confirms how genuine Forex trading is. And then today, day 2, ladies and gentlemen, we said, all right, we said we're gonna start from what we call the major currencies. The major currencies. And ladies and gentlemen, major currencies mainly comes from the world's known, this comes from the world's, how do you write the world's? Don't worry. This comes from the world's known largest, right? Largest financial centers, this comes from the world's known largest financial. Don't worry about my spelling, financial centers. And which centers are these? One of the centers is based in the US. Another financial center is based in Canada, right? Another biggest financial center is based in Canada, all right? Another biggest financial center is based in the Great Britain, right? Great Britain. The world's main financial centers, Great Britain. Another one based in Europe, Eurozone. Another one based in Switzerland, all right? Switzerland. How do you write Switzerland? Another one based in Japan. Another one based in New Zealand. All right? And then we have another one which is based in Australia, all right? Another one based in Australia. These are the most common, all right, known world largest financial centers. World's known largest financial centers. If your country is not here, ladies and gentlemen, just relax. It means your government has got a long way to go. So it means there is room for improvement. So you don't have to beat yourself hard and say, oh, I'm not seeing my country over there. So what's happening? So does it mean that my country doesn't have the largest financial center? Maybe it's large as per your country's ratings, all right? But as per the world's ratings, all right, maybe the financial institutions which you have in your country are only large as per your ratings within your country, all right? But as per the world's ratings, all right? Remember, you've got your country's ratings and the world's ratings, just like the Guinness Book of World Records. I get the point? These are the countries which harbors, right? These are the countries which actually harbors most of the world known largest financial centers. All right. So what basically happens out of this, there are the centers again which produce the world's most traded currencies. Currencies basically means money. So I don't want you to start beating yourself hard and start saying, oh, I'm new. And this person is actually talking about currency. So it is currency. Currency is money, okay? All right? Currency is money. So this world's known largest financial centers, ladies and gentlemen, they are the ones which their currencies are widely used when doing transactions in the Forex market. And that's why if you go to the US, you'll realize they are using what is called the US dollar, abbreviated USD. If you go to Canada, you'll realize they are actually using the Canadian dollar, abbreviated as CAD. If you go to the Great Britain, ladies and gentlemen, they use the British pound, which is actually abbreviated as the GBP, Great Britain pound. If you go to Eurozone, all right, they use the euros, abbreviated EUR. And if you go to Switzerland, they actually use what is called the Swiss franc, right? The Swiss franc, which is usually abbreviated as CHF. If you go to Japan, ladies and gentlemen, all right, let me put this like this, and put like this, let me 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 put like this. So if you go to Japan, ladies and gentlemen, Japan controls, all right? Japan actually is one of the busiest in terms of controlling some of the major transactions which happen in the Forex market. If you go to Asia, Japan is actually considered, all right, one of the most safest countries also to invest in, all right? And that's actually why even investors usually prefer to use yen in Asia, simply because it's even more stable as compared to the rest of the remaining currencies which are over there, right? So we will be having the JPY, Japanese yen. So if you go to New Zealand, you'll be having what is called the New Zealand dollar, which is called the NZD. And then if you go to Australia, you'll actually be transacting with Australian dollar, which is called the AUD, Australian dollar. And I want you guys to understand one thing, all right? For those people who maybe had an opportunity to go to school sometimes back then, those days, we used to be taught about what is called the international system, whatever, SI unit. I don't know it in full, I can't remember, but we used to have something to do with the SI unit, all right? The SI unit of weight, the kilograms, the SI unit of height, meters, of what? You guys remember those things? Maybe roughly, you can actually remember roughly. Even me personally, those are long years ago, sometimes back then. So even when it comes to currency, there is the world standard, right? The world standard way of naming currencies. These abbreviations, they don't just come out anyhowly. And according to the world standard naming of currencies, ladies and gentlemen, the first two letters, right? A currency abbreviation must have 3 letters. Currency abbreviation, right? Currency abbreviation must have 3 letters, whereby the first two letters stands for the country name. The first 2 letters stands for the country name, and then the last letter, right? The last letter stands for the currency name, right? The last letter stands for the currency name. This is the world standard of naming currency, all right? And that's why USD, if you're looking at USD, the first 2 letters stands for United States, and then the D stands for the dollar. All right? If you go to South Africa, their country code is ZA, all right? And then their currency is Rand. That's why we have got the ZAR. If you go to Nigeria, their country name, right? Nigeria, NA, Nigerian Naira, NGR. This is exactly how they name, this is exactly how their currency looks like, all right? This is how it has been abbreviated, where NG stands for Nigeria, and then the R, it should be NGN, let me see, NG and Nigerian Naira. It should be NG, Nigeria, either NRN or NGN, but you can actually confirm that, all right? If you come to where I'm based right now in Kenya, if you go to the bank, it's usually KES, where KE stands for Kenya, and then S stands for shilling. All right. So for those people who normally write, if you give them like 100 Kenyan shillings, and then they're writing like this, 100 shilling, please go for your school fees. All right. If you love writing like this, please go for your school fees. Right. If you're like, this is 100 shilling, what are you talking about? All right. This is actually how you're supposed to write it. 100 KES. All right. I know some people who were taught in school, they're supposed to write like this. I know majority were taught in school how to write like this. 50 shillings. This is what the textbooks teaches you. And this is where the real money, where what you do, this is what we're supposed to know. This is the world standard of knowing things. Leave alone the textbooks. Textbooks, sometimes, some textbooks will only teach you general knowledge. At the end of the day, you don't get money out of it, right? But you have to tag yourself to where money is. All right. Now, with that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, one thing that you need to understand, whenever we are trading, all right? I believe you guys are taking notes. Whenever we are actually trading, all right, you can never trade one currency alone. Please note this down. You can never trade one currency alone. You can never trade one currency alone. It must be paired. It must be paired, right? It actually must be paired. For a trade to take place, ladies and gentlemen, it must be paired. You actually have to be either transacting from one currency to another currency. At least there must be a pairing. Ladies and gentlemen, it cannot happen with one. I get the point? And that's why, let's say, if I travel coming from the country of Kenya, going all the way to the Great Britain pound, I will actually be converting the KES to GBP. They will be actually paired. All right. So basically, I'll be transacting KES against GBP. KES against GBP. So what basically means? It means if I travel to the Great Britain pound, I will actually be selling to them. All right. I'll be selling my KES to the Great Britain and then in return, the country will I'll actually be buying. All right. I'll be buying GBP if I land to the Great Britain. In order for me to have the GBP, I actually have to I actually have to sell my KES, right, and then buy the GBP. I get the point. So there must be pairing. If you're together up to that particular point, ladies and gentlemen, please type in the chat with some 555s. Please type in the chat with some 555s. If we are together up to that particular point, please type in the chat with some 555s. All right, please type in the chat with some 555s. Please type in the chat with some 555s if we are together up to that particular point so far. All right. I believe I'm loud and clear up to that particular point. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, one thing that you need to understand when we are participating in the Forex market, basically, all right, and this is actually what makes Forex totally different from any other financial markets. I know we have got quite a good number of financial markets which you have come across. Financial markets, right? I know we have got quite a good number of financial markets. We have got the stocks. You guys have heard about the stocks, right? Where you have to buy a shares of a particular company, blah, blah, blah. What happens, blah, 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 all right? Then we have got Forex. And ladies and gentlemen, by far, all right? By far, Forex is far much better and stable as compared to stocks. Far much better. In terms of being better, Forex is better. In terms of stability, Forex is stable, simply because we actually participate in buying the country's economy. All right? What you normally do, we actually buy the country's shares of the country's economy. Buying. Forex involves buying and selling shares of the country's economy. Right? But when you look at stocks, because I know somebody will be like, so what's the difference with stocks? This one involves buying and selling, all right? Buying and selling shares of a particular company, shares of an individual company. So you can actually see, right? When it comes to Forex, we are actually dealing with the country's economy. But when it comes to stocks, they are actually dealing with an individual company. And that's why for those people who normally participate in stocks, for example, right? Some companies usually disappear or they close due to undercapitalization or being declared bankrupt. So it forces you as an investor to start again looking for some other companies to invest on. But look at Forex, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think, all right? I want somebody to tell me, ever since ever since you were born, which country has ever disappeared simply because they're suffering under capitalization, or the country has been declared bankrupt? Which country has ever disappeared from the Google map? Or which country has ever disappeared from the world geographical map? How many have ever heard that this particular country just disappeared all of a sudden from the geographical map because it has been declared bankrupt? The country has been declared so under capital, they're not even performing. So what do we need to do? We actually have to scrap them off. Ladies and gentlemen, who has ever come across that? It's something that can never and will never happen. All right? It can't and won't happen. So what does it tell you in terms of Forex? Forex is more stable as compared to stocks, ladies and gentlemen. And the beauty is, when it comes to Forex, if an economy of a particular country is performing good, we buy, we make money. If the economy of a particular country is performing bad, we sell, we make money in return. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, without fear of contradiction, without fear of contradiction, last year, when the world declared COVID-19 as the global pandemic, majority of the companies closed shops. So many employees, ladies and gentlemen, were declared jobless. But for Forex traders, ladies and gentlemen, they made billions and billions of shillings. And without fear of contradiction, all right? Basically, personally, last year is when I bought my first car with the market money. When actually most of the people, the companies were closing down, most of the people are actually being declared jobless. That's when now, personally myself, I bought my car. Ruth bought his car during that time. Patricia also, Patricia, the queen of Fiestati, also bought her car that time when things were tough, simply because, ladies and gentlemen, do you know how massive Forex is? It can't just be affected by anything. This is one of the most stable investment platform, come what may, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, for us, even if the world declares another pandemic, it's good riddance for us. We will be celebrating as Forex traders simply because we know how to make that money. If the world declares something again, which is exciting, and the economy of a particular country is actually thriving, for us as Forex traders, it's good news. We are actually making money both ways. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why most investors they usually prefer considering Forex as compared to any other investment method, simply because of its stability, simply because of its betterness. You cannot actually compare it with any other investment platform. I get the point? And that's why, again, when it comes to the Forex market, all right, I know the next thing maybe somebody might be thinking, then Captain, how do we actually do our transactions? In the Forex market, we normally do what is called the OTC, over-the-counter transactions. This is actually called over-the-counter. Over-the-counter, all right? And over-the-counter basically means we normally process transactions through an electronic process which connects a network of banks, all right? Transactions are processed. Transactions are processed electronically, all right? Electronically through a network of banks. Ladies and gentlemen, if the transactions are being processed electronically, do you know what that means? It means even right now, all right, I can decide to travel to Asia and I will still be trading comfortably so long as I've got internet access and my smartphone or my computer. All right? Even if I travel all the way to the US, it doesn't affect my business whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, I can trade anywhere. I can trade so long as there is internet access, so long as I have got a fully functioning smartphone or my computer. And again, this actually what makes Forex more admirable by investors. It doesn't get affected by your skin color. It doesn't get affected by where you're coming from. In fact, the Forex market doesn't care about your tribe. If you come to the Forex business, you will be asked less about your tribe. Nobody will come and start asking you, where do you come from? Which country are you coming from? Nobody will actually ask you about that. All right? So this is one of the businesses, all right, ladies and gentlemen, which actually has got what is called fairness. This is one of the businesses which actually has got fairness. And then it is tradable 24 hours a day from Monday to Friday. So the market is usually open from Monday to Friday, as compared with the stocks market, all right? The stock market, close of business at 5 p.m., 4 p.m., the stock market is closed, everybody's going home. But with Forex, 24 hours. So for those people who are like, I'm so busy, I don't even have time. It's okay, continue not having time. That's what actually happened to a few of my friends 3 years ago, right? When I was actually telling them, guys, do you know how Forex, it doesn't matter whatever schedule you have, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually trade any time frame or any time zone. All right. So even if you're coming after work, like right now, late at night, you can actually start to trade. Early in the morning, before you go to work, you can actually trade. During your lunchtime, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually trade. So for those people who are like, oh, I'm so busy, I don't have time, I don't know whether I can manage it, I'm so busy. Okay, continue being busy. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, before we jump to currency pairing, and this one I keep on telling you, ladies, every single now and then, in 2030, all right, 2030 is just like how many years down the line? 2030 is like how many years? We are right now in 2021, like 9 years down the line, all right? Do you know in 2030, companies will actually be scrambling and looking for traders? Because this will be the business, the talk of the whole world. This actually will be the main thing, will be the main deal by 2030. Companies will just be looking out for traders. Banks will be actually reaching out for traders. Ask yourself, today you're actually listening to Captain Cliff. Where will you be in 2030? Or you'll be the type of a person who will be like, I listened to one of their trainings in 2021. And then you'll be coming back 9 years down the line when people will actually be scrambling and looking for traders. Then you'll be nowhere to be found, simply because you decided to come here, joyride, and go continue doing yourself busy. And then later on, when maybe God forbid, the company which you're working for, just shit happens. Shit usually happens, ladies and gentlemen. This one I keep on telling you guys, all right? Shit usually happens. Nobody knew that most of the famous companies actually closed down due to the global pandemic. Nobody actually knew it, all right? So what happens for those people now who have gotten exposure of this type of business? You never know what might come. So it's better always to have or to think forward. Ladies and gentlemen, now we normally have what is called pairing of currency pairs, all right? Which is called currency pairs. I told you currencies are usually traded in pairs. And these pairs are categorized into three. Categorized into three segments. Number one segment is called major currency pairs. Major currency pairs. All right. Number two segment is called minor stroke cross currency pairs. Number three is called exotic currency pairs. Exotic currency pairs. These are the three most common currency pairings that we have, all right? The three most common currency pairing that we have. Now, the major currency pairs, which is number one, ladies and gentlemen, all right? Major currency pairs, major currency pairs, major currency pairs. Any currency, ladies and gentlemen, any currency, any major currency, all right? Any major currency paired with the USD is called the major currency pair. And when I'm talking about major currency, I'm talking about currencies from the world's largest or the world's biggest or the world's known trade centers. You remember that statement, right? These ones, right? Where are they? These ones. These are the major currencies. These are the major currencies. The USD, CAD, GBP, Euro, Swiss franc, JPY, NZD, AUD. These are the currencies which are largely traded in the Forex market. And that's why you'll realize most of the time, our language is more of speaking about dollars. I know maybe for some of the guys who are joining this call for the first time, I know maybe you are used to speaking into your local currency, right? You'll hear most of the trader we normally talk about, like today, there was a transaction which we were actually doing, in the bank, all right? There was a transaction which I was actually conducting in the bank. Personally, I even forgot, right? Of course, I'm based in Kenya. We normally transact with KES. So the banker was actually asking me questions, and my answer was like, I was actually responding in in USD, all right? The bank actually expected me to be responding in KES. So the banker was like, okay, good. So, okay, good. So how much are you expecting now to receive? And I was like, oh, 3,000 USD. And the person was like, oh, okay, 3,000 USD. Oh, so you mean you can now convert that into Kenya shillings, right? You can actually convert that into Kenya shillings. Now, so, okay. And so I was like, oh, sorry. I'm actually expecting this in KES, all right? And the banker noticed that I'm talking more about USD, and the banker even went ahead and started asking me questions. So what do you do in life? What do you do in life, young man? And I was like, I'm just a trader. And I was like, trading? What do you mean by trading? And I'm like, you are in bank and you don't know? And I'm like, I'm in Forex trading. And the banker was like, I'm interested. And I'm like, what makes you think you are interested? And he's like, so this is actually what you transact. And I'm like, this has been a slow week, so understand. This actually been a slow week, all right? This actually been a slow week. Now, with that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, where are we? We are here, major currency pairing. What were we saying? Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want you guys to get lost, right? Where were we? All right, this is where we are. This is where we are. Basically, the banker will actually be enrolling into Forex trading simply because of that. But at the end of the day, the banker will actually realize how much he's actually missing. Yet the person is based in the bank doing transactions and even doesn't understand how Forex works out. Are you get the point? So these are some of the things which I was telling you guys. All right. Now, major currency pairs, right? Any major currency paired with the USD is called the major currency pair. All right. It's called the major currency pair. So if I take, for example, all right, USD and pair it with CAD, this becomes a major currency pair. If I take the Great Britain pound and pair it with USD, this becomes a major currency pair. If I take AUD and pair it with USD, this becomes a major currency pair. If I take NZD, pair it with USD, this becomes a major currency pair. If I take USD, pair it with JPY, this becomes a major currency pair. And if I take USD and pair it with Swiss franc, this becomes a major currency pair. So these are the most common currency pairs major currency pairs that we have in the market. And these are the most traded, right? These are the most traded by volume into the Forex market. The major currency pairs: USD CAD, GBP USD, AUD USD, NZD USD, USD JPY, USD CHF. And for those people who normally, for those people who have taught much about the depth of what Forex is and going down deep into details, you've actually seen how much I love trading these pairs, simply because they are the most traded by volume into the Forex market. Ladies and gentlemen, right now is 9:02, meaning we have exceeded our time by 2 minutes. We are actually supposed to be completing within 1 hour. So allow me to stop at this particular point. Tomorrow we'll actually be doing the continuation. So please make sure that you tune in for the continuation. And if you've learned something new, ladies and gentlemen, please type in the chat with a yes. If you've learned something new, ladies and gentlemen, please type in the chat with a yes. Allow me now to take the questions, right? 2 questions because of time, right? 2 questions because of time. For those people who have learned something new, you can actually type in the chat with a yes, with a yes, with a yes, with a yes. Thank you guys for the yeses. 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 Right. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for the yeses. 2 questions. Number 1 question. All right. Let me see. Number 1 question. Number 1 question. Who wants to ask number 1 question? Who wants to ask number 1 question? Number 1 question. All right. I know without any question, it means whatever I've actually shared with you guys, you got the concept more clearly and nicely. Looking forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow, same time. See you at the top as always. Enjoy and make sure that you take action. Thank you so much. See you at the top.